once again welcome on this program of Women at the Frontline. We continue to engage you to bring you amazing people, women that are doing it, that are making it out there in career, in passion, in leadership, and we continue to say women are rising, women are getting at the front line. No longer the days of when we feel like women are in the background. So today I bring you a very, 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 very profound and amazing lady that is rising, that is actually already at the front line. Yes. So with me today, I host a one Carol Beyanga. You're so welcome on this show.
Thank you. Thank you,
It is
Joanna.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
so
too.
like looking forward to this, to meeting you. And yes, so I'm going to also listen today because I have like read about her profile and it's an amazing one. I don't think I am even like an inch closer to it. So yes, like we have been saying, when I grow up, I want to be like Carol. Yes, so Carol, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm
You're
fine
so
today.
welcome.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here.
Oh my God. Okay, so tell us about yourself. Who is Carol Beyanga? Like, we really need to know who is Carol Beyanga because me, I've read about her. So I need other people to also just listen to this amazing story and this amazing journey of her career and how she has risen up through the different steps and all that. So, Carol Beyanga, you're so welcome. Kindly tell us about yourself. Who is Carol?
Thank you, Joan. It's nice to be here, like I said earlier.
Pleasure.
My name is Carol Beyanga. I am an editor by profession. That means I edit different things. I work with, my major work right now is with Nation Media Group, Uganda, where I'm the head of mentorship and partnerships, but I do a lot of editing still with the organization. I am married to Mr. Joseph Beyanga, Akajo Walker. We have two children, two adorable girls in school, one in secondary, one in primary. We live in Namugongo. Beautiful place, beautiful quiet place where we are, at least for now. I keep hoping that it will stay that way for a while. I love to read. I love to edit. I'm a Christian. I'm a born again Christian. I pray at University Community Fellowship. That's where I pray, and so I love to edit. Like I said, I love to read. I believe that people learn when they read. So so I like to be part of that process to getting people good information.
Yes.
It's one thing to create content, and it's another thing for that content to look good or to communicate to people.
Yeah.
So I enjoy very much being in the process of making sure that it is communicating. So editing, making sure it reads well, making sure it gets what the author wants it to get to the person who's reading it. And I also love to watch TV. Not so much these days. It's been a bit busy for me. I also love to mentor people, young people especially, but across women, men, people in media, but also different facets. So I find myself in many mentorship spaces, which is great because I've also been learning a lot about mentorship.
Okay.
So that, in a nutshell, I would say is who I am.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you so much for me. What like normally speaks to me is the fact that those small things that people bring about themselves, and you know what is like important about them, family, belief system, some, yeah, such kind of things. So that when we are learning from them, when we're saying, okay, I want to be mentored by Carol. Yes, you have like a background of who Carol is, and what she believes in. Is she a family person? Is she like a godly person? Yeah, such kind of things. Not to say that others don't matter, but I mean, that speaks a lot.
Yes.
So what was it like growing up? What were your aspirations? Did you see yourself being in media a lot? Because I am sure, like you talked about reading, loving to read, watching news. So maybe could that have like drawn you closer to your current careers? What was it like growing up? What were your aspirations growing up as a young child?
So I thank you for that question because I love answering this question. When I was 13, I think I was 13, 12, 13. That's around the time that WBS, now defunct, began. And so that time we had only UBC. So what UBC, 6 o'clock, it's on AM, then 6 in the evening, 6 in the evening, it's on, midnight, it's off. So that's what we had to deal with. And then WBS came on, and it was exciting, it had different things. And it had CNN. cable news
Yes.
network. So that fascinated us. It was different. So of course, the first time, all of us, me and my siblings, would sit and watch and be interested in, because the way they produced the news was, it was almost like a movie, that time. But of course, after a while, my siblings would get bored because that the news keeps repeating, like over the day because it's a 24-hour station.
Yeah.
But I was fascinated. They would all leave to go and play outside, but I'd stay and watch, and I'd want to know what's happening, what's the news, how they told it. And so I think at that age I began to think, I think I want to do that. I think I want to be, in front of the camera and tell the news. And that was sealed when around the Iraq War, the time when there was the Iraq War, and one of the reporters at CNN called Christiana Amanpour. She's now big. She's now a host. She's now huge. But that time she was a reporter and she was in the battlefield. She would be reporting, and at the back bombs are going off. You're seeing, but she's there reporting. This is what's happening. We're here. And so I thought, wow, that was amazing that she was strong enough to do that, and was a woman, because many times you'd see the men doing that kind of thing. So I remember thinking, I want to work, I want to be in the media, I want to tell stories, I want to go out there and get information. So that was with me for a long time, but along the way, I began to sort of shift from broadcast, which is TV and radio, to print. I think because I love to write a lot. I loved literature, and English they were my favorite subjects. And I did well in them, so I think that's why I liked them. And I would write short stories, and my friends loved those. They would say, "You should write more." I didn't write that much, but they liked them. I had a whole book of poetry. They loved that. So I began to feel I am probably better at writing. So that's when, around L level in my S5, when I switched and said, no, I think I will, instead of going for broadcast, I will go for print, because I like to write. I like to look through stories. I like to, make comments on them. But also I thought, I do speak quite fast sometimes. So I thought, if I'm an anchor, no one will hear me. I'll just be rattling through everything. So I said, maybe I'm better off, writing. And so that kept with me. And so I went, that was A level. I applied for mass communication in Makerere University, was excited about it. I didn't get it. Oh, the world collapsed for a day, because I was like, I've not gotten the course I want. And how? So my dad my parents seemed worried. They said, the girl has not got what she wants. Let's support her and pay for. I'd gotten government, government sponsorship. I'd gotten, a course, social sciences. I had gotten a hall to stay in, Africa Hall. But my father was like, no, this girl. My parents were like, this girl wants to do mass communication journalism. Let's pay for her. So I'd even gone picked up the forms to sign and say I want to do, because I could do it if I was on private, not government sponsorship. So then I went to my former school, King's College Budo, to pick the pass slip. And I was I feel like it was a good moment, because I met the headmaster. It was holiday time, and I picked it up, and I was actually walking out of the school going to get a taxi to go home, and I met him. He's like, "Oh, Carol, how are you, Mr. Busua, Mr. Samuel Busua? How are you?" I said, "I'm fine." He asked what I had gotten. He said what I wanted to do. I told him. Then he said, no, that is very selfish of you. How can the government sponsor your studies, sponsor a hall for you to stay in, give you all this, and you're throwing that away? So he told me, he said, no, Carol, you can do journalism anytime. Take what the government has given you. Give your parents a break. They've been paying, school fees and everything. So give them a break. Let the government take care of you, as they also take care of others. And so he spoke to me, and he told me, he said, the course you're taking is a good course, social sciences. You learn public administration, whatever you pick, social sciences, literature and everything. He said, because those are genuine skills, general skills that people need. Journalism and medicine, they are very defined professions, but social work and social administration, it's diverse. You can work anywhere when you have done any of those. When you've done that course, you can work in administration. You can work even in like in accounting, as long as you pick certain skills. You can work in any office if you have this. Unlike journalism, where you only have to work in the media.
It's media.
So it made sense to me. I thought about it, and I came back and I told my parents, no, let me take this. Let me go with the government course. They were so happy and relieved. And so I did that. But then at some point I thought, no, I can't do mass communication, because I didn't do it in university. So I forgot about it for a while. But later on, I discovered I still could. And then I was able to finally join my dream and do journalism.
Dreams do come true.
They do come true, yes.
That was such a journey. So you ended up like going back and doing the mass comm like for 3 years?
No. So what I did, I worked in a bank. Can you imagine?
Yes.
I worked in a, no, yes, I worked in a bank. It was a good bank. It was a good opportunity, but I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want, I in my head I thought maths is difficult. Banking is about accounting and math, and I'm not good
Yes.
at math, which is a wrong perception. Now that I realize it,
Yes.
but that time I was like, no, I can't do this. I didn't want. I was there for 6 months, but I was not very happy. And so a friend of mine, she convinced me. She was with me in both, because Buddha was A level, so she was with me in O level and A level, and she's like, Carol, why don't we do our masters now and finish with it, and then we can go and do other things, rather than we are 30 years old and we have babies and we're trying to go back for the masters. So she convinced me. She said, let's look for courses, and then let's see if our parents can support us. So we looked for courses. We found a university, Cardiff University, in Wales, in the UK. So she found a good course for, and I think an MBA. I found Masters in Journalism Studies. We spoke to our parents, and we're very lucky. They supported us. I think because we had been on government, both of us. So they said, okay, we are willing to, support you in this.
Yeah, okay. It was not like a scholarship.
No, it wasn't a scholarship.
Oh, okay.
It was our parents had to pay for it. So, but that time it was good. That time I think the system now is a bit different. That time it was good. You could pay in installments.
Yeah.
You could, it was very, very flexible.
Okay.
So we managed to get, they managed to pay for us the first, amount, and we went. It was a good course. I enjoyed myself there with her. Still didn't have, when I came back, I was still wondering what to do. My father, I sort of came back from the UK. I said, I want to rest. It's been, I had a good time, but I want to rest. But after 2 weeks, my father said, what are you doing? You need to start working. I said, oh my God. And he's a banker. He's an accountant by profession. And he said, if you can't get something, then I'll begin to ask my friends in, the different banks if there is an opportunity for you to apply and work there. I said, I'm not going to a bank. So I began, not again. I began hunting for a media job. And that's when I went to Monitor. I went to both Vision and Monitor Publications. Ended up settling for Monitor Publications because I was given a role very fast on the desk compared to New Vision. Okay. I mean, both were good opportunities, but I thought the Monitor one was the better one because of what I was going to be given. In terms of my career growth, I figured I probably will grow faster in Monitor than in New Vision, but both were good opportunities. So I was given strict instructions. You have to prove yourself. You have to work hard. If within 3 months you're not, we'll let you go of you. So I knew, Carol, you have to work. And that's how I go back. Yes. So that's how I managed to get a role there.
Okay.
Yes.
This is an amazing journey. I think most times we try to give up on our dreams.
Yes.
Let's say you wanted to do this, and then now you end up in a whole different world. Then you're telling yourself, okay, I got this government sponsorship and I couldn't let go of it. And that's like the end of you.
Yes.
But I also like the fact that your parents were able to support you to do your dream. And I think that kind of makes you a diverse person, that you have a background in social sciences, but also now you have your journalism dream. So when you merge the two, it sort of makes a lot of complete person, I should say. So you talked about growing up and watching news. So were you like those serious kids that this one is always watching news? If she's not watching news, she's reading her books, or she's reading her novels. So what was like your childhood? Any best memories in your childhood? Like funny memories.
Okay.
I mean, personally, I'm a stubborn child. Yeah, I have been a stubborn child all my life. So what was it for you growing up as a child with your siblings and in the family?
So I wouldn't say I was a stubborn child. In fact, recently my sister, it was a funny conversation we're having on Twitter, and one of the people who used to work with us, Ivan Okuda, he told me, thank you for being a mentor. So he shared an email I'd written to him in 2010 telling him to, improve on this. You didn't do this, you didn't do this. And so when my sister saw it, she's like, oh my God, Ivan, forgive us. Our sister is not usually like this. She's usually nice. She was joking, but it just showed that, I'm a very peace-loving person. Let us all live in peace, So I don't want people quarreling or fighting. I want us to live in peace. So at home, I wasn't quiet as such, but I was more of the peace-loving person. So I didn't like to get into fights. I didn't like to do anything that I knew my parents would get upset with. Even if I wanted to do it, I felt like I want to do this. I'd be like, but if I do it, my parents will be upset, then I'll get in trouble. I don't want, so I would not do it. So that's how I was growing up. But it was fun. We were many siblings. So At home were a number of siblings plus my cousins
Yeah.
and my uncles and aunts. So it was a very
Family.
boisterous, yes, very
Pure African
yes,
extended family.
yes.
Yes.
Lots of noise, lots of rushing for the bathroom in the morning when you're late. I thought it's my turn, get out, you know,
Yes.
because you know how we're dead if
Mm.
dad comes and finds us not ready.
Mm.
So it was a lot of that. We were naughty in different ways. We used to watch TV when we were not supposed to watch TV. Then as soon as we'd hear my dad at the gate, beep, oh my goodness, would run. People would bathe in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we were so many, there's just one bathroom. So
Yeah.
so it was a lot of fun. We grew up, we had lots of fun. My parents were privileged with the places we stayed at were big compounds. So we played a lot. We climbed
Okay.
trees, we visited neighbors, we rode bikes around. It was my memories are just such fun memories.
Okay.
But I think from early on, I think especially my parents, I think they knew that Carol would do something with writing or something like that, because I remember there's a time when I don't know why, I was just interested in English and literature. So there were times when we were at home, people would say something, I'd say, no, you said it wrongly. This is how you're supposed to say. I know, it's
Yeah.
sorry.
No, because they're always saying, okay, these people who have English or say this,
Yes,
something like.
I think you could say I'm like that. So they would be like, Carol. But every time they would say something, I'd be like, no, you're supposed to say it this way. No, you said it wrongly. You've
Yes.
missed this word, or this is how you pronounce it.
Yes.
So my mom, I think it was my mom, she began calling me English girl. So they used to say, the English girl is, Carol, the English girl. So I got that at a young age.
Okay.
So I think, at least for the two, my mom and my dad, I think they recognized that she probably will do something, because I really loved to, read and write.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, literature and English were my favorite subjects. I always scored really well in them. So I think they had an idea at that point that she's going to go, which is why I think my dad was, especially my dad, he was so concerned when I didn't get mass comm. And that's why he was willing to, to
Like
invest and say, you know what, let's pay for her in Macarius, and she hasn't gotten what she wants. So they were very supportive of all of us towards that. So that's, I would say that's it wasn't, I don't think it, not so early on, but I think by my A level, I think a number of members of my family knew. Because at some point I even began to write for Sunrise newspaper, the smaller newspaper. I used to write. A friend of mine used to write there. She was leaving. She asked if I wanted to write. I said yes, and it was good. And that's one thing I'll tell people: do not despise any opportunity you're given.
Yes.
Because I remember Sunrise was just, I think it was beginning fairly started. They didn't have that much money, so sometimes they would pay me, sometimes they wouldn't. But I made sure that every week I wrote the column I was doing, and it was good practice, because at that time, Hadija, may she rest in peace, she passed on. She was very kind to me. She would say, now you needed to do this, the column is too long, you make it shorter, or it's too short, do this, or you're writing here, and that kind of thing. So it gave me a good start. It gave me a good start to what I was doing.
That's amazing. Childhood memories, the English girl. Yes, I equally passed literature and English.
Well done.
Here we are. Yes.
Well done, yes.
Doing the things that we do. So what has it been like in your career journey, starting as a sub editor to future editor, like all these these things, up to like the time you've risen to head of mentorship, partnership, and monetization at Monitor. What has your journey been like? What has been like the challenges, or what I could say, not challenges per se, but what has been like your fair and good about your career?
Okay. It's been fun. It's really been fun. It's been hard. There have been really hard days. It's been rewarding. It's been very rewarding.
Hard, fun,
rewarding.
Yeah.
It's been exciting a number of days. Okay. And it's been frustrating also in a number of ways. It's been fun because to do, and it's a privilege to do the work that you love. Is a privilege to do, to wake up and think, yes, I'm excited to go. And not many people have that. So it's a privilege for me, for anyone, if they feel like I'm going in to do the camera work, I'm going to take photos of this today, I'm going to paint, I'm going to cook, I'm going to take care of the ill, and she puts the nurse and she puts on her, very excited about who she is. And it is a privilege to have that. And I think if anyone has that, they should not reject or despise that. So for me, that's why it was so much fun. It's been so much fun because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy sitting with the team, coming up with ideas, writing out the stories. Okay, they write and then I edit, strategizing. How do we do this? How do we improve ourselves here? So far, it's been fun. It's been rewarding because I work for Daily Monitor. And now, so now NMG. So before it was just Daily Monitor until we merged to be NMG, so National Media Group. Yes. So now it's Daily Monitor and it's NTV and then it's East African and KFM and MFM are also part of Daily Monitor.
Okay.
So but by the time when I was Daily Monitor, it was rewarding. Even today, it's rewarding because you see your stories and how they impact people.
Yes.
And for Daily Monitor, the big thing has been about the stories we do on governance, the corruption, and outing people. Recognizing that what wrong people are doing. It's rewarding when we get people to come up and people are taken to court for the wrong they have done. Money that was being stolen has is either maybe recovered. So for me, it's rewarding to see those things. But also not just that. Monitor is known for that, but there are many other things I think we do that maybe not get that limelight. Recently, we did a story about a pair of twins who were living pretty much by themselves. They were 7 years old and a 9-year-old, and they had to fend for themselves. The 9-year-old had cattle to get some money. Their days would go without food, and so our reporter Simon Emamu and I think Emmanuel Emo wrote that story. It was a small story that but the people were so touched, and they sent money. We ended up collecting about 3 million shillings.
Ugandans are very generous.
That is true.
Ugandans
I
agree
with you. Yes, we may have our faults, but we are generous. We want to help.
Yeah, we fight our battles.
We fight our battle, but we want to help. When people see there's a need, they're like, no, let's help.
Yes.
So they got about, I think it was over 3 million. So they bought, things for the children. Other organizations have said we want to take them to school. Different things. And just one story has changed the lives of this family. And there are many other stories like that where people were sick and we wrote about it, people contributed money, they are now okay, they don't have that problem anymore. People have gone to school. So for me, writing such stories, even like whether it's health, whether it's even relationship, we write a story where our counselor talks about something and people sort of realize that, I've been going wrong, or my marriage or relationship could get better. For me, that's very rewarding. That we're able to put out content like that and people see it and it touches them and then they take a step to either better themselves or better someone else's life. That for me is exciting. It's also been, like I said, it's rewarding. It's exciting, when we get a good story and we're rushing to, especially like online. This has happened. We want to be the first to break it. We're like, we need to beat our competitors. We need to have this. Like everyone is, the newsroom is just flying. Everyone is like, do you have this? Do you have the picture? Do you have the video? So that's exciting. And when you're in that sort of an era, and like I said, sometimes it's been frustrating because it's an exciting job, but can also be sometimes punishing. The hours you put in. I remember when I was head of the digital section, you are on call 24/7. So I remember the times when things would happen at midnight. I'll just get a call from my editor and say, Carol, this happened, we need to put it up. Oh my God, so it didn't matter whether it was 6 in the evening, whether it was 9, midnight, 1, you just get a call. I hear a message, I'm like, what's that? I check, this has happened, this person has died, this, you have to put it up. So so that part can be frustrating, that the long hours. I always say that the time when I tell people that, please respect media houses, especially like I'd say Daily Monitor, of course, maybe The Observer and New Vision, when results come out of schools, because we stay in that newsroom until about 2 a.m. Like compiling all those lists of kids who have, the results. We do different lists, we do different pictures and everything.
You have to be on top of
you have to be able to make sure that the next day when the paper comes out, it is something that someone can read. So it's nice to do that, but going home at 2 a.m. And if you're going home at 10, 11 a.m. all the time, you're missing time with your children, with your spouse, with doing things or just relaxing. So sometimes it can be frustrating in that area. But at the end of the day, I think it's like I said, it's a rewarding career that you're able to go out there and do stories and get content that that will change people's lives. That inspires people to change. That is very rewarding.
That's amazing. So you've talked about the long working hours. Okay, the frustrating bit of the work. So how has it been like juggling this work and family. I am imagining you're at home seated with your children, and then the phone call comes in at midnight.
Yeah.
That you have to like look into this story, and now you need maximum concentration.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how has it been like juggling this demanding work and family, and then and other relationships? I mean, because even when you're like a church person,
Yes.
you also need to serve God
Yes.
at the end of the day. So what has it been like juggling these things?
It's been really challenging. I can't even tell you that I got to a point where I felt, yeah, I'm now, I'm managing, I'm juggling. Because the days when I was working hard and feeling like we are doing well, the products are out, the magazine is looking good, we have good stories, I would feel guilty. I'm like, but I'm going home at 10, I'm going home at 11, the children are asleep, or I've made my husband wait for me because we work in the same place. So he would wait, he would wait around in the office or anything. So I'd feel guilty. And yet on days when I was with them and I was like, okay, now I have time with them, I'd feel guilty about work. Like, now, I hope that this person has gotten this thing. I hope that they've been able to fix this. I hope that the stories,
And I think that's about the thing, doing what you love.
Yes.
Is that when you're not doing it, you feel guilty.
Yeah, that is so true,
yes.
Joanna.
Like when you pass office and then you're saying, I'm going to spend time with my kids at CJ, and then you're driving past office. And they were telling you, there's this story. You're like, I'll look at it later. And then you're passing by, you're feeling guilty.
Yeah, that is so true. You feel guilty. You feel like, should I be there? Now other people are there and I'm not there. What are they thinking of me?
Yeah.
Or maybe if I'm there, I might help in this way. So there's always been that guilt on either side.
Yeah,
Either I feel guilty that I'm not with the children and my husband, or I feel guilty that I'm not at the workplace that I should be, maybe, or I should at least be. So it's been hard to juggle. I wanted that I got to a point where I felt, now it's it's smooth.
Like I have it balanced.
Yes, but I think I had to make a decision on what I wanted to do. So I don't know if it was the right decision, but at that time I decided that the work needed me. Yes. I needed to be there. I needed to, and I'm a hard worker. I want to do work well, and I'm a perfectionist, which honestly that may sound nice, but it's not. It's not, because like I remember one time my supervisor, he was so upset. We did a magazine where we had changed our design, and so we had done a magazine, and I was just not happy with the story. I was not happy with the photos we were using. I was not happy with the layout. I kept saying, no, change. I don't like it. No, fix this. People were tired. I could see everyone around me was tired. They're like, this woman, Carol. But I was like, we can't go out on the first day of a new design and a new look, and we don't have a good story on this page. No. So I insisted, no, change. And I was pregnant. I was like, I think maybe 8 months or something. I was heavy with our second born. But I kept saying, change. I don't like that. No, let's do this. No, Henry. I remember it was Henry. I was with, and I think Jennifer. And I was like, no, I don't like, and Mike. So I kept, and I think they were like, what is wrong with this woman? This is good enough. So I was still there, and this is around 11. Can you imagine? And then in the night, 10, 11. Then so my supervisor calls me, and we got along well. So it was Daniel. He said, what is keeping the paper? You're the one keeping the paper. Yes. Like it's not fully printed because of you. What is going on? As passionate as you are. Yes. What exactly? What is going on? So I said, no, we're trying to fix a few things, but okay, I won't let it go. So I said, we go. Let's take it. So because I realized, by the time the boss calls me, they have called him from pre-press that we are waiting for Carol for like. So it went. So that time I realized, that was the time of me beginning to realize, let it be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's at the end of the day, it is destroying many things. So you may want a perfect layout, a perfect design, but if you're delaying the whole process of the paper, and then it comes out late, and then by the time it gets to where it's supposed to be sold, people have moved on. People usually buy one paper. So if they come and look monitor and New Vision, they'll still decide. But if they come, if they find monitor, they'll go monitor. They find only New Vision, they'll go New Vision. So they won't wait and say, there are very few who say, I want my, they're like, I want just the paper of the day, they will go. So if you delay that whole process and then you have fewer sales, what good then was the perfect, work? It was the perfection that you're not good in the sales. And yet you could do good enough. Not perfect, but good enough. And that would enable you to go out and that sort of thing. So I began to learn at that point that perfection was not, that my perfection was it was a bit of a problem. And I needed to know when to bring it and when to withdraw from it. So these are some of the things I learned when I was at work. And I began to realize that I can't be the perfect mom I can't be the perfect editor.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be the perfect wife,
Yes.
but I can be good. I can be good at these things and do my best at them.
Yes.
So I had to let go of certain things. I had to sort of say, okay, I may not do all these things for my children, but if I have a good nanny I trust who can do certain things for me,
Yes.
and then when I spend time with the children, I'm actually spending time with them. That is, you know, that can help. If I can do this with my husband, if I'm not spending as much time as I should with him, but when I'm with him, I really give him my undivided attention. Yes. I do the things that I know he likes, that I'm able to do. Then I can, you know, I can do that. Then as an editor, I may not be there all the time, 24/7, doing all these things. But if I can, when I'm there, then I give it, you know, all I've got. Then I and extra. Then that's for me. That's why I came to a point of admitting that I can't be perfect, but I can do good. I can be good enough, and that and as long as people are happy with those things, and they will be happy with those things. They're not many people, no child really wants a perfect mother. They just want a mother who loves them.
Also, who is a perfect mother? Like, what's the definition?
Exactly, what's
of
the
a perfect
definition?
mother?
True, yes. I think we put these things in our heads. I have to be there. I have to do everything. I have to cook for them. I have to, you know, and sometimes it's not possible. Yeah. So I have learned that, but and also there are seasons in life. I've also learned there are seasons. So when the kids were much younger, I was a lot at work. For sure, I was a lot at work. I made sure that I attended all their school days, everything, and that sort of thing. I was very, you know, I was in touch with their teachers. But I wasn't. I can't tell you that I was with them a lot.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and so when COVID happened, I got the opportunity to work from home. Okay. And then when finally we were allowed to go back, I decided that I was going to work more from home because I realized I could spend more time with the children. So I shifted my mindset, and at our work we were allowed to, you know, to determine whether to work from home or from office. So I said that I'll work some days office in a week. I pass out and say some days home, some days office. And that majorly it was because I thought, now that I have that opportunity, let me spend the time with the children. Being with them, supporting them, learning about them, things I may not have known, which was actually, I began to realize there are many things I did not know about my children that I began to find out as a parent. I began to realize, I began to learn their learning styles. I realized that they have very different learning styles. I realized that they treat challenges very differently.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you know, so those things, and you know, you assume that, you know, the kid must do this, but if you realize, and one child does something so well, so you want the other one to do the same. But then you realize, no, they're different, and they treat things differently. They have both different strengths and different weaknesses. So that time gave me a lot of time with them to recognize that and to bond even more with them. So I've learned that there are seasons where you pick what works for you at that point, as long as you're in harmony, at least with the people really close to you and who matter, your spouse, the children, and, you know, close people, like at your workplace, your supervisor. As long as you are in harmony with those, then you make those decisions and decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to work this way.
I think it all comes to acknowledging that you can't, you can't be everywhere.
You can't do everything.
I think that's where we fail to get like a clear cut line. That you can't give it all at work, but you can just be good enough. Maybe even the perfect things that we think should be perfect and are not going to be like.
That's true. That is true. You see how my
you wake up and say, this is exactly what I want, and it's perfect. And then you get out, you put it out there, and someone's like,
"What's this?
Like, this is what you thought was perfect." So it's kind of I think coming to acknowledge. For me, that's
I think you're right. Coming to acknowledge, because when you acknowledge that, then you have peace about it, and when you have peace, you do things from a place of happiness, from a place of joy, contentment, and not frustration that I didn't do this. Because when you're doing things from a place of frustration, of fear, of worry, of anger, you don't do them well. You know, you may try, but you don't do them as well as when you're at peace, you're content with who you are and what you're able to do at that moment. You do a much better
because
job.
You're anxious all the time. And then I think in the end, for like workplaces, you even end up being like a people pleaser. Trying to, like, I have to be perfect. I mean, no one wrote like in your
job description.
You must be perfect. Okay, so that brings us. I like the fact that you recognize that you didn't have to be a perfect mom, but you just have to be good enough. And also for the work. I think that's so profound for me. So, are there some things that you still desire in your career, like aspirations? I just feel like, okay, when I read about your career growth, it's been like steady and progressive. So are there other things you still like aspire for and
To do?
yeah,
Yeah,
share with us?
so I think that everyone should continue to aspire, whatever age, whatever place they are,
Yes.
because that gives you the willingness to wake up in the morning and say, I want
Yes.
to do this, I want to do this. Even those who have retired,
Mm.
if they say that, okay, I've retired, but I want to put more energy now in my business, if they have one,
Yes.
or in small projects I'm working with,
Mm.
or even sometimes it can be, and I find this very impressive. Sometimes people can say, I have retired, and maybe they feel I'm settled, I have enough, enough to take me through every day.
Yes.
I'm not going to work again. What I want to do is now to spend time with family.
Yes.
This is my aspiration because I worked so hard and I didn't spend
Yes.
enough time with them. Now is the time to spend with my family, maybe with my wife, with my children, with my grandchildren, with the people around me, my neighbors,
Yes.
my associations I'm with. And for me, that is still an aspiration.
Yes.
So I think people should always aspire, regardless of their age, regardless of where they've reached in their career.
Yes.
And yes, I do have aspirations. I've worked with Daily Monitor for a long time, and I have enjoyed working with the media. I still think there are things in the media we could do better.
Yes.
So there are things I aspire to see the media do in terms of the way we report certain things, in terms of the kind of content we put out.
Yes.
So I'm still keen on having that done. There was a time when I used to, apart from working as an editor at Monitor, I used to edit books. I would work with publishing houses.
Okay.
So they'll come and say, Carol, here's a book, please edit a textbook, and it would change. Today it's a textbook.
Yes.
Tomorrow it's an autobiography.
Yes.
The next day it's a religious book. It was
Yes.
very, So it was, yeah. So I learned a lot. I learned that I did not know. Okay, because I thought, you think, yes, you think that I'm editor, I've been at Monitor for all these years, I've edited all these things, Then you edit something and you're thinking, what does this mean? You have to research, you have to do technical.
Yes.
So and then I've been going for seminars with African Writers Trust. It focuses on authors and putting out their best work. But me, I was interested as an editor.
Yes.
So I have learned, I now aspire to do a lot more editing in different sectors.
Yes.
And I've had the opportunity to do it, and it is very exciting. It's rewarding to get Joanne who comes and says, Carol, I want to write a book like this, or I have an idea of this kind of book. And then I sit with Joanne, and then we go through, what is your book about? Yes. And then I tell her, this is what works. This does not work. We need to change that. Maybe you need to change the angle here. You need to change the focus here. But this is very good. Why can't we build up on it? Yes. So it's been rewarding to see something, just a piece of paper, someone has written their thoughts or that kind of thing, to them writing a full manuscript, to them then we go through the editing, and then everything is fixed, and then the book is out on the shelves. Yes. For me, that's very exciting. So I have found out that I can do that. So I want to do more of that now. I want to involve myself a lot in editing of different kinds of text.
Like spread out.
It's spread out, exactly. I don't want to just have the one. So in terms of editing books, and manuscripts, things like that. Yes. Editing, even like online content. Yes. Because I've had a couple of one or two companies who I worked with in terms of their websites, and we said, how do we make this better? And they said, we want this, but we don't think we are there. Help us. And I sat with them, and we discovered, and when it was done, they were very happy. So I realized there's a lot more out there that I want. Yes, so I want to do more of that. I also want to continue, like I said, I'm head of mentorship. Yeah. And I recognize how important mentorship is, and how so little of good mentorship we have. We have mentorship, but some of it is not. Yes. And so I want to be more in those kinds of spaces, in terms of where we are mentoring people, where we are giving young people, the advice and the help they need, where we are supporting them and working with them each day to get them to be a better person. So I want to do more of that also in the outside spaces, in different spaces. And then I have a funny dream, Joanna. I sing. Not like oh my God.
Yes.
No, but I can't sing. Yeah. Not stop. I don't know the voice, but I can sing. So it's just been a dream of mine and saying, I want to be able to sing, like a song with someone that can, on an album or something, just one song. I know, it's very
the little things we never know about
people.
Such people, yes, they're coming out now.
Yes, I really, really want to sing, like a song. An inspiring song, a helpful song. I'm very much. I'm keen on the songs that I love a lot are either gospel songs.
Okay.
as a Christian,
Mm.
or good, can I say good love songs? Because love makes the world go round. But I noticed that
Yeah.
many people struggle in relationships.
Yes, they
I
do.
noticed that. I've seen how certain songs have inspired people, have made them change their minds, have made them
Yeah.
get better, or have spoken to them in a way that maybe no person has done. Yeah, because
Done.
one thing I keep telling people that we all have different hobbies. Some may like to read, not others may like to cook or not, but everyone loves music.
Everyone loves
It's just a
music.
genre that either they
Yeah.
like pop or they like gospel or they like dance or
Yeah.
whatever it's dance hall. But everyone likes music. It's just a
Yeah.
different kind. So music can speak to everyone and anyone. So I keep saying I hope one day, who knows?
We have had. We are going to make sure Carol features in one of those amazing songs. I love that you like. No one would
Have thoughts, eh?
actually. Yes. I. Yeah. Personally, my music career died.
Oh, but you had one. You
Yes.
should revive.
I
Slowly.
had one. I did music as a subject for 6
Oh wow,
years.
you see.
Yes.
See that,
But
yes, are you way better than some of us?
yes, there's so many things I've run away from. But yes, I love that. And for me, when you talked about the bit of when you try to do work outside of like media house,
Yes,
you realize there is a lot you
there is
needed
that
to
is true.
learn. It's a
That
lot
is
of
true.
wisdom.
Yes.
Many
Yes.
times we just think someone has arrived.
Mm.
I think the reason why even us as young people are sort of having some pitfalls is because when someone looks at maybe a young person leading an organization or being on media, they just feel like, oh, she arrived. I don't think
I don't think, yeah.
there is a point in life where we arrive. I don't think there is.
Yes.
For as long as you wake up every day, there is a certain something you need to accomplish.
That is true.
And of course, that certain thing has different lessons to teach you.
Yeah.
So we can never arrive.
Yes. And the more you learn, the better you become.
That was,
as a person, even.
Yeah. That is, that's a lot of wisdom. Yeah. So I think we should be getting to our last questions now. So you talked about, would you go back to school now?
This is a very good question. If you asked me this like a year ago, I would say no. I am done with school. I wouldn't go back for like a full like another master's, for example, or a PhD, philosophy, or even another degree. But I would go back for a course. Can I say a course just to improve myself?
Yeah.
A course to improve myself in a particular area, and which is what I'm doing actually, because I decided that although I've been, God bless all these people who have been giving me their books to edit. although we also discussed, there's no, in Uganda there is no, what can I say? There are courses in the universities that teach about writing, but not about editing. Yeah. So we don't have even creative writing. You find that very few, you can hardly get those. So I would go back. I actually am trying to I found a few courses that I'm trying to pick a couple of, see which one I can go for, which talks about editing, and editing specifically books, editing manuscripts, books, because I recognize it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game from the media.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and how to edit.
It's
so I would go back for a course like that. I would go back. I don't think I would go for, well, maybe I might, if there was a master's, who knows, maybe. But now if I'm to go back to school, it has to be very, I wouldn't go and say, oh, let me go and do an MBA because, it's a good thing. Or let me go and do just to improve. No, I would go and do a course that helps me with my current aspirations. So it has to be, so for me, it has to be around editing. It has to be around, improving content, whether that's online, whether that's print. It has to be around that area. Preferably a course of like 6 months. And not a full 2 years or a full,
Okay. That's, so I have recently realized there is a lot of content that we can even teach ourselves without going to school. But people treasure papers.
That's true.
I just feel like even just getting a course outline of what you want to do and you look out for the different content on. I mean, right now technology has taken it to another level. You can sit down and teach yourself these things. But because maybe it's a thing of you have to get the papers, where did you learn this from? When you tell someone I learned it from the internet, they probably are not going to believe you until you
Sure.
You like you have to do a lot of
To
work
convince them.
to convince them that I actually learned this online and it's working for me. Yeah, so it really takes a lot. So talking about mentorship, what there is very little space for mentorship in this country. Yeah, I feel like even us as young people, we lack the mentors that and I don't know, but me, I just feel like you can have a mentor in line with your career, but maybe in their life they're probably not excelling in the relationships and marriage
Yes.
area. So maybe you have to find
someone,
another
person.
So what is like your say about mentorship for young people, even the kids trying to juggle career mentorship? What is it like for the people you're mentoring, and what advice would you give to people who want to be mentors or who want to be mentored? I want to be mentored, but I'm still looking out for which I have a few mentors
Yes,
in the
okay.
country.
Yes.
But I feel like we are playing picky ponky with this mentorship thing. Yes. So
yes.
what's your take on mentorship? Who to find? Who? What can we do about it for those who want to be mentored and those who want to mentor? Yes.
Yeah, Joanne, mentoring is, you know why I was actually the reason, the way I came to be head of mentorship at Monitor was because I, bless him, I spoke to my supervisor,
Okay.
Daniel, and I told him, I think we need mentorship at, like as a whole program, not just,
Okay.
because I told him, I said, I think we're losing people who are good, but because no one is guiding them and showing them and holding their hand, they walk away, they leave. So we discussed over time. We asked for a proposal. I gave it to him. He looked through it. He liked it. But then COVID happened. We first put things on the back burner. We decided to first, deal with. But eventually he said, "Okay, Carol, let's start this." And I'm very grateful that he gave me that opportunity. And because I saw that there was a need for it, I saw the need for it, and I also saw that many people at work were not getting it, and they were making bad decisions, at work. You find someone is fighting with the supervisor over nothing. Fighting with the supervisor, doesn't like me and that sort of thing. Someone is fighting, with a peer.
Yes.
Someone is not thinking about, what do I want my magazine to look like tomorrow, next week, in 3 weeks' time, in a month's time. Someone has got an opportunity, they've become, they've gotten into Monitor and they're a writer and everything. They're not thinking, what do I want to be in 2 years or in 3 years' time? They're hoping that Carol will see that they're good and promote them or something like that. So, and I realized that many people were doing all these things and losing out. And yet they were good. Good writers, good editors, good sub-editors, with NTV, good producers, good, reporters on TV and things like that. But they something small and they leave the place. They're upset. So from what I've seen, and from what I've seen, basically is a number of things. One, for the mentees first.
Yes.
If you want a mentor, and this is interesting because I just spoke to our team yesterday about this. If you want a mentor, you first have to think about, what kind of mentor do I want? Yes. Do I want a mentor who's going to help with my career? Do I want a mentor who's going to help with my relationship right now? Or I don't know, many things. Or maybe in my Christian walk, I'm just beginning, In my faith, I'm beginning. I want someone who can guide me and can understand all these questions I have and guide me. Where do you want the mentorship, to be? So it's good to know, because then after that you can then pick the right person. Because otherwise you may come and say, hey, Carol, she's a nice person. I've seen her. She and Mr. Beyanga, they're at work and everything. And so you come to her. But when you start, you recognize that she does not have what I want in this particular area. So it's important to first know, what do I want? Then after that, you ask the people. That means when you're looking for the mentor, they should have those qualities. And yesterday I was telling the team, I was like, when you unpick your mentor carefully, like for example in a workspace, don't pick the person who is constantly complaining about the work, about the management, about what, that person is going to drain you. Pick someone who is positive despite the challenges. They're able to say, no, we can maneuver, no, we can fix this, no, we can, or let's put it aside for now, we'll come back to it later. So pick someone who is positive.
That's very profound.
Pick someone who you can see that there's a line of, they've had success in what they've been doing. So if you want a relationship person, then you've seen success in their relationship. Yes, you've seen that they've been together for this many years, and not just being together, but you can actually hear from their stories, from where they share, that kind of thing. You can even just see body language and everything. Actually, these people, they have a good relationship. So maybe I want to work with them. pick someone with whom you have a rapport with. Because many people make the mistake of thinking, oh, Joanne, I see her in public health and she does this and everything. And Joanne might want, but Joanne might be very busy.
Yes.
Maybe so busy. And then she doesn't, like I was teasing them. I was like, this is a big company. We are about, it's a big company, Nation Media. So you go there, you've seen this person, you've seen, like maybe let's say our supervisor, Daniel Kainaki, who writes a column and everyone, or you've seen, this reporter on TV, Salomon Kawesa, and you think, I want them to be the mentor. But they don't know you. They don't, you go to them and say, oh, hello, I'm Carol, I wanted you to be a mentor. You work for NMG. They don't even, they don't like, so I was like, you first have to create that.
Sometimes they're not even interested in mentoring.
That's true.
Anyone.
You also have to be, you also have to recognize, you have to see that, because if you're the kind of person who has every once in a while said, hey, Joanna, I saw you doing this. I don't think that was right. Maybe what you done is, can I come and show you how you could have done it better?
Then they're interested.
In helping you. But if they don't do that kind of thing for you or for anyone else, then they might be good at what they're doing, but they don't have that, the ability. And it's not a bad thing. They just don't have that ability, and that's okay. So you have to pick someone who you can see, who you know has the time, who you know has been able to, you can see they've helped different people, and at least they know you. They've been able to see that you work. They've had conversations with you, maybe at lunchtime, maybe on the desk, and that kind of thing. So now they know both your names, they know what you do. You've talked a bit, you've had a good rapport, and so when you come to them, they're like, oh, they're excited to help you because they said, I've seen this person, they do well.
I've seen your growth.
Exactly. So they want to push that. So that it is important that you pick someone who you already have some conversation with, and you're working with. You start that conversation and you work with them. And then also it's important for the mentor to realize that once I get the mentor, the work is mine. It is my job to knock on the door. Hi, can we talk about this? I've had a problem here.
The mentee is the one to do the job.
Do the job, yes.
Not for you to be hunted.
Not for you to be hunted.
Okay.
Which is so annoying. When a mentor has to hunt. And there's a place for that. I tell my mentors sometimes that sometimes we need to hunt for them. Because then if you realize then there's a problem, there's an understated problem you have to help them with, But if the mentor has to consistently hunt for you, it's now you're draining them. They could have, be spending this time on someone else. So you as a mentee, once you decide that, Joanne, can you please be my mentor? And Joanne says yes, please make that relationship work. Unless Joanne just, unfortunately disappoints you, but we know Joanne wouldn't disappoint you. Joanne is a nice person. Yes.
I wouldn't do
You wouldn't do that. No, of course not. Right. So pick someone who, once you pick Joanne and then do the work. If Joanne says, let's meet at this time, meet them. Be on time. You can't be on time, apologize and say, I'm sorry, what can we do? Can we make it up? When Joanne asks you, if it's in the career space, she gives you an assignment and she says, you know what? Why don't you try doing this and show me? Maybe you're in a communications thing and she's like, I'm going to give you an assignment. Imagine that your company has write a press release. Go ahead and spend some time and write that press release. If it's in the medical field and someone says, imagine you had a patient like this, how you treat them. Go out for a week and come back and tell me. Go and do that work. Go and talk to people and everything. Come back and tell your mentor, this is what I think I would do. So do the work that they give them to do, because then it shows that you have interest in this thing. And when you do the work, then you learn, because then you begin to realize, this thing is not as easy as I thought. Or I need to ask many other people before I can come up with that sort of thing. So I think that's what I would say for mentees. Look for a person who is a positive person, person who's willing to give you the time, person who has been successful in the area that you want, for them to work with you, and then put in the time and the effort. And imagine that this relationship is it's my job. So I have to make sure it's working. I have to keep checking on them. I have to, and remember that also your mentor is a human being. Sometimes they'll forget. Sometimes they'll have seasons in their life when they are so busy. And it's difficult.
They're dealing with things.
They're dealing with things.
Life.
Yes, they're dealing with life. So it's hard for them to keep meeting you as regularly as possible as before. So that would be for the mentees. Now for the mentors, I would say it is very, very helpful if you've never been mentored before, to find yourself a mentor or find yourself a mentorship space. Because you see, I'd never been mentored before, but I'll do that. And everyone kept saying, Carol, luckily, I thank God. Everyone would say I was a good mentor. But one time I thought, but I've never really had mentoring myself. So I dedicated 2021, I think it was, to getting mentorship from different spaces. So there was, I don't know if you heard of it, there's Girls for Girls, G4G, mentorship. I decided I was going to go in there. And I went in as a mentee, They're like, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm coming in as a mentee. I want to learn.
Yeah, humility.
Yes, there's another program that All Saints run. It's a program for women, Alabaster. And so they were looking for mentees. So I wrote and I said, oh, I would like to be a mentee. Then the person called me and said, Carol, you should be a mentor. Please change. And so I said, no, I want to be a mentee. Because I was looking, first of all, I wanted mentorship myself, but I was looking for that experience.
Yeah.
What does a mentee go through? What are the things they would need from a mentor?
Yes.
What are the challenges? Because when you know that, then it is easier
for you to understand the job on your side.
You understand what the mentee goes through.
Yes.
You understand their fears. You understand that they may be intimidated sometimes.
Yes.
You know, you may think that, hey, we talk, but they may be intimidated by you so much because you're so good at what you do. You're a high profile person. So when I took that mentorship, really opened my eyes to many things about what I need, about how the help mentees need and how to support them. You know, not to judge them, but to work with them. Not to be their teacher or supervisor or mother. You know, you're just a mentor. You're just guiding. You're just showing them these are the possibilities. Try this. Let's work this out and everything. And if they decide not to do it, it's okay. Your role was just to guide. It wasn't a teacher where you sort of say you're going to get a punishment for doing your homework, or a supervisor you're going to get, you know, that
who knows what they choose comes out better than
exactly. And if you're willing to give them the time and say, okay, let's see what you want. So you don't judge them. Don't, you know, belittle them. Don't look at it as a relationship where you're the top person and the bottom person. No, you're just two people working together and you're helping them. So I learned all that during the mentorships I had. And so I would say that a mentor needs to be like that. And although I said that the mentee has to chase the relationship, I think the mentor also has a duty. Once you say a role to play. Once you say I'm going to be your mentor, and not just and if you've not heard from Joanne for 3 weeks, so say, that's her business. She hasn't called me, you know. No, to be able to say, but why hasn't Joanne called me? What is the problem? And you call and check on her, and then you might find that she's had a hard time, or school has been so busy, or she didn't do something you asked her to do, and now she's so guilty. She doesn't want to come back to you. And all you tell her is, it's okay. That passed. Let's start afresh. And then she's, you know, she feels better. You have to be patient. You have to be patient with them a lot. Really patient. Because the more you do those things, the easier it is for them to relate with you. And to, you know, to do what you ask and to get better. And usually the mentees, they will talk more about those people who are more patient. The people may not have given them the best of skills, but the people were ready to listen to them. They were ready to tell them it's okay. They were ready to tell them, I don't judge you, don't worry. I've also made the same mistake. Malanga, I did the same thing. Can I tell you, guess what? Also me, I did the same thing. And then, you know, and then the person feels like, oh, I'm not alone. I did
it's a place of relief.
It's a place of relief. People tend to remember those mentors more. And those mentors seem to have more impact in their life.
I think what happens is that most mentors try to be perfectionist.
Yes.
And then it's like a top-bottom
Exactly,
thing.
Yes. And so that pushes away the mentee like, sometimes.
Listen to what I have to say.
This is how you do it.
Yes.
If you don't do it this way, then what
makes
this
you
thing?
think you know? Like young people these days, you have problems.
Yes.
We have suffered.
Yeah, I know. So that when you do that is no longer a mentor-mentee relationship. It's almost supervisor and a very tough no supervisor should be like that anyway. It's a very top-bottom approach, and that can push away a mentee. That can, you know, make them not relaxed in your what, and that's not how it should be.
Because if you become a mentor who is like a control freak,
who's very demanding of certain things and what. So that's, in a nutshell, I'll say that's what mentorship is about. And everyone can be a mentor. You know, it can, you know, in different spaces, even with the younger ones. You know, even I tell my daughters, be mentors to the younger girls, and what all of you can be mentors. So
thank you. That's amazing. We're struggling with mentorship for us as people who are growing into these spaces, and I think when we acknowledge that we need to learn, we need to learn from people that have stepped in the shoes, but also the people that are there need to also understand. So
show
it's
grace.
a two-way traffic. So as we get to the close of this show, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay.
Just that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Right. So I see myself having, in different spheres, I see myself having an editing consultancy business, something like that. It's something I'm really keen on. So I'm working small steps to do that. Both editing and mentorship, I'm very keen about those two things. So I see myself doing a lot in that field,
Yeah.
in that business, providing that sort of support for people, which I'm very keen on doing.
Okay.
I see myself as I want to spending even more time
Yeah.
with my family,
Okay.
with the children, and I've been trying to do that more, but I also want to do it even more.
Yeah.
So I see myself doing that. I also see myself growing in my. I've just been, I've been a born again Christian for so long,
Yeah.
but I feel like in the last 5 years I've been saying, hey, what have I been doing? Like,
Like
I've been, yes, I've been, but like I've deliberately, been immersing myself in Bible reading, praying, fasting. I didn't, guy, I was afraid of fasting. I was like, fasting is not for me. It is for other people. But I have learned. I'm learning those things. I'm learning those things. So I see myself pouring myself more in my faith, and growing in my faith, and doing a lot more in my faith, because I feel like my faith then determines everything around me. It determines the kind of marriage I'll have, the kind of business I'll have, the kind of work I'll do. Yes, the mentorship and the editing, all that, it determines that. So I see myself growing more in that, so that then I can have more impact in the other spheres of my life. And who knows, maybe by that time, maybe that the song will be on the album. Who knows?
Yes, yes. No, not maybe. It will be. It will be. 5 years. People have seen. People have. We're just going to make sure this comes out. Okay. Thank you so much, Car. It was nice.
Thank you.
Really, really, really nice having you here. And I'm sure very many people. I am going to make sure all the people in my young circles watch this show. And I mean, yeah, it was so profound.
Thank you. It was very nice to have you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for honoring our invitation to have
you.
you on this show. Thank you for rising through the ladders. I mean,
thank you. It's not been easy, but
and for juggling all that you're juggling. So it was nice having Carol Beyanga on the show, Women at the Front Line, and then hashtag Women are Rising. Yes. So at this point, let me sign out. I also want to listen to more stories from Carol, but let me sign out. Let's just call it a day for today. And maybe we'll have part 2 of her when, 5 years later, maybe 3. Yeah, let's just write the vision down. We will be there. Thank you so much for being on the show. I remain Joanna, your host, and as hosting Carol Beyanga today. And catch you next time, same day, same time. Thank you.